let's go ahead and let's dive into the app. Let's take a look at what the platform looks like. What you see here are bubbles, and these bubbles have numbers that represent the number of controllers that are in this particular area. We launched this system in October of last year, and the response from the market has been outstanding. As you can see, we've already started to expand globally, but here in the US and Canada, it's been amazing, that was our primary area when we initially started. As stated earlier, what you'll notice are different color bubbles. And what this represents, the blue bubbles mean that you have a unit that's in place and everything's okay. There's nothing going on. There's nothing wrong. You actually have no preventive maintenance required on this unit. So everything's copacetic. Nothing's wrong. If you see red, what this is telling you is that a unit needs to have some attention. Again, red doesn't mean that there's an alarm. It just means there's a part that should be replaced. And when you click on that red bubble, your very first step should be to identify the customer, figure out where they're located. You take a look at the opportunities. That is the key word. FireProCare is going to create opportunities for it. And what you're going to find are a list of items that are plugged in here that should be replaced. And this is obviously an older unit, so it's never been none of the parts have ever been replaced. But this is where you get this chance to contact your customer and say, per the manufacturer, these items should have been replaced back in 2021, 2022, 2023. I'll be in the area. I can order these parts. Would you like for me to come in? This is your chance to create the opportunity to get in there and promote your service or sell your service and to put this controller back in tip-top condition so that if something goes wrong, the system will operate as it is designed, as it is intended. Now, what I want to do now is move through the icons and show you what everything means. So this is our map view. If you're my age, you remember that we used to have to go to the convenience stores to pull out these maps to see where everything went. We didn't have the Google Maps and the electronic devices when I was younger, but this is the map view. You also have a list view that's going to show all controllers based on serial numbers and just list them. And if you know what your controller is, you click on it and look at the details. It's no different than clicking on the bubble from the map. We also give you the ability just to search all of the information based on serial number, model number, anything that you've plugged into the address, you have the ability to search for that and it will pop up that unit. This is your filter button, which allows you to filter based on the controller type, the preventive maintenance status, and you can also open based on the service task. Now, service task, I want you to understand, just means that is your to-do list. If you are dealing with a controller and you have a part that you want to change, what it will do is create a service task for the service dealer or the pump distributor that manages your site. And that is how they know when they need to go to the site and what to do. That service task then becomes part of the service history at a later time once they complete that task. This is how you see your list of tasks. And again, I can see everything because I'm the director, but you would only see things that you have created for the controllers that are in your part. And I'm going to switch over to a different environment just so that we can actually drill down. Those were live controllers. This is where we get the opportunity to drill down into some of these units, and I can play and do some different things without causing any issues to a live unit. But again, if we open up the details, we have the bill of material. If we got a part and that part gets replaced, by an authorized service dealer, they basically put in the information, show that the service was completed, and confirm it. And now that part was replaced successfully. And if you go to the service history, you notice it was right here on 318. It was completed by William King. This helps us create this history, this timeline on what has been done to the panel. The key is to make sure that everyone is using FireProCare to do this. And it's just going to I can't tell you how many times when I was in the service industry, I would show up to a control panel and they say it doesn't work. And when we ask the question, well, what has been done to it, no one knows. And that still happens today. You show up, no one knows what happened, no one knows who did what, but at least with this, we have some idea on what has been done to the panel, and it helps us make some decisions on what could have happened and what may need to happen going forward. Very neat option for us, and we think everyone is going to enjoy that. So the other part that I like to talk about is here you can take a look at your service tasks, as you create them, your to-do list. So if I go and take a look at this same controller and I go to preventive maintenance and I decide that I want to plan this replacement, what it's going to do, it is going to allow me to plan a replacement or request a quote if you're set up to do that. You can plan the replacement, you'll confirm it. It creates a service tax. So remember, that is your to-do list. So now if we go back out of this, what you get is on that same panel, if you go into the details, got the bill of material, preventive maintenance. Now you have this task here, and it says right here it's open. That means that we need to change the part, and for whatever reason, let's just say your pump distributor, your contractor got you the part. Now they go in and perform the task and change out that part. Then once they go and complete that task, you have to put in the information. We want to qualify it, and so we'll plug it in. We'll confirm it. Once we confirm that it says it's successfully replaced, we then can go back and take a look. That service task is gone now. It's no longer here. But if we go into the history, just as we did when we flat out replaced the part, now you show that on 318, William King was very busy. He replaced his board and the system is up to date based on what happened. If you want to look at more details, you click it open. And if there was any comment that was in there on what happened, maybe your technician can put some other details in there. All we're doing is giving you the opportunity to keep up with what has happened to your control panel, what needs to happen to your control panel from a preventive maintenance standpoint, and the ability to track everything that's done within that unit. Another neat feature that comes with FireProCare, you'll notice this arrow and the share up there. There is the ability for you, your pump distributor, your authorized service dealer to share this information with anyone. The key thing there is that you have to be signed up with FireProCare. You have to have an account, and that account will be limited based on permissions, but you can still share the information and it will populate in your own personal controller part. The share function is pretty simple, and we give you the ability to do this in a lot of different places, but you pretty much copy the link and then you go and email it to text it to whomever you want. Once they click that link, it's going to automatically dump that controller into their controller part, and now they will see the same thing that you see. Very neat feature, and like I said, you have that ability to do it in a lot of different places. That button does the same thing no matter where you are within the controller. You also have an arrow here to do the exact same thing. So just we give you the ability to do that in a lot of different places. So with that being said, the next icon would be managing your company. And as stated earlier, this is a unique place. We as a company don't want to dictate how you manage your team. So when you add a user, you go and you plug in their information, in addition to their titles and everything, you get the ability to give them the ability to handle certain functions within the company. Not everyone will have all of these permissions, but this is where the sales channels and how you go to market is important, because if your supplier is the one that handles your parts, he will be the one to take care of ordering and sending you the actual part. Whereas if you are an end user, you don't necessarily need to get involved with that. Your job would simply be to view the information and share it with someone who can then take the data and forward it to someone who can then help troubleshoot, make sure they have the right part before they go on site, hopefully save an additional trip, save money, and help you as a client to get the best system put in place to help you. All right. So with that being said, I don't have much more to talk about with regard to the app as far as from a general standpoint. If you'd like to have more information on exactly how the app works, some of the other features that are included in there, please reach out to me at william.king@fireprocare.com or reach out to me at info@fireprocare.com. We'll get back to you, set up something. I do have a slightly more in-depth presentation that's catered towards the technicians. It goes into the bells and whistles on how they connect, how to make sure they take the right steps to ensure a positive, a strong connection. Those types of things are handled in a different version of the presentation, but definitely reach out. We'll set you up with something.